Provincials Class 155 sprinters are re-entering service following modifications. In this short film we shall be examining the operation of the train doors and coupling and uncoupling of these units. Both of these functions have caused operational difficulties in the past. Following modification, it is essential that all staff thoroughly understand these procedures. Let's join our driver and conductor as the unit is taken into service. As the train approaches its first station stop, the conductor will make his on-train announcement from the rear cab. He then makes his way to the door control panel, unlocking this panel with his carriage key, and waits for the train to stop completely. Once the train has stopped, he opens his local door and puts up the door release. The blue interlock light will now be extinguished on the driver's desk and on the door control panel. When station duties are complete and he has obtained the right-of-way from the platform staff, he closes all external doors by depressing the blue close button. He must now observe that all doors are closed and all external yellow hazard lights are extinguished. He must now observe that the blue interlock light is illuminated, after which he may close his local door and give the right-of-way signal to the driver. If an exterior hazard light has remained illuminated, a door has not closed properly. In this case, the conductor must repeat the door release and close procedure. If a door still remains open, it may be necessary to attempt to close the door manually, ensuring that the external handle is used. He locks the door out of use with a carriage key. And ensures that the external beacon is now extinguished. If it is necessary to lock a door out of use, do not forget to affix the appropriate label to the window. The conductor now may return to the door control panel, checking that the interlock light is illuminated. The interlock light will normally be illuminated when all external hazard lights are extinguished. Now let's have a look at the procedure if the blue interlock light fails to illuminate. The conductor must double-check that all external doors are closed and that all hazard lights are extinguished. If this is the case and the interlock light remains out, try the signal button. The bulb in the interlock light may have failed. However, if the signal buzzer does not sound, the conductor must repeat the door release and close procedure. If the interlock light is still not obtained, he must check each external door for obstruction. If he is still unable to obtain the interlock light with all doors closed and all beacons extinguished, he must ask the driver to try for power.
Hello driver, I got no interlock lights. I checked all the doors and they're all shut. Could you try for power please? I'll try for power now, God.
The driver must try for power without operating the traction interlock switch, and if successful, may proceed. He must report the defect at the next station where fitting staff are available, and he must enter the defect in the unit's repair book. If the driver is unable to take power, a very strict procedure must be introduced before the traction interlock switch is operated. If the train is at a station, the conductor must advise operations control via the platform staff. In other circumstances, the driver must advise operations control via the signalman.
Hello panel, driver here of 155307. I would like fitness attention at the next station, please. Thank you very much.
A clear understanding is to be reached as to whether a passenger train is to proceed loaded or empty. Normally, at a staff station where no fitters are available, a passenger train will be terminated, providing alternative services or suitable waiting facilities are available. If the defect occurs at an unstaffed station without facilities, or between stations, then, after having advised operations control, the traction interlock switch must be isolated after checking that all doors are properly closed. The train may proceed to the next station for assistance. Now let's look at the procedure for isolating the traction interlock switch once a clear understanding has been reached with operations control. The driver and conductor must now reach a clear understanding with each other.
Hello God, I'm unable to obtain power. I'm now going to operate the traction isolating switch.
Thank you.
The driver now removes the seal and isolates the traction interlock switch. The metal protecting pin is shortly to be replaced by a glass file. If it has been necessary to isolate the traction interlock switch between stations where no communication is available, the driver must stop at the first available point, advising operations control via the signalman and requesting the attendance of fitters. Trains must not leave staff stations with the traction interlock switch isolated without the agreement of operations control. The traction interlock switch is a vital automatic safety feature and must not be discarded except as a last resort. Now let's look at the procedure for coupling one Class 155 unit to another or to a Class 156 unit. Before we examine the coupling procedure in detail, let's have a look at the BSI automatic coupler. Below the coupler itself is the coupling block, behind the cover of which are the train wire electrical connections. Before coupling and after uncoupling, drivers must ensure that these covers are in the fully raised position to avoid damage to these connections. Above the coupler is the main reservoir air connection with rubber seal. At the left-hand side of the coupler is the uncoupling lever, normally worked by air. The driver of the unit making the attachment has stopped 6 feet short of the other unit. The driver now gets down and examines the couplers of each unit, ensuring that the coupling block covers are in the fully raised position. He now draws forward to a position 2 feet short of the other unit. He may now proceed to couple. The driver now selects the reverse position on the master switch and takes power for a pull-away test. With the master switch now returned to the neutral position, he depresses the couple button for a minimum of 5 seconds. He now moves his brake controller to the step 2 position. He now proceeds to the other unit. On this unit, he must check that the brake has released to the equivalent step 2 position. If the pull-away test is unsuccessful, the driver must now move the 2 units apart and must once again re-examine the couplers of both units, ensuring that the coupler block covers have returned to the fully raised position. He may now make a second attempt to couple the 2 units, following the procedure we have just looked at. If the second attempt is unsuccessful and time is available, he may attempt to couple from another cab. Now let's look at the procedure for uncoupling these units. The driver must first ascertain that he has a minimum of 5.5 bar main reservoir pressure available. He now makes a full brake application and with the master switch in the neutral position, depresses the uncouple button for a minimum of 5 seconds. The units may now be moved apart. Once again, he checks each coupler, ensuring that the coupler block covers are in the fully raised position. He must also check that both uncoupling levers have returned to their normal in position. If the units do not part after the uncouple button has been depressed, he must release the brake and ease up. Then return the master switch to the neutral position and depress the uncouple button again. If it is still not possible to uncouple the 2 units, it will be necessary to obtain the uncoupling rod from the cupboard behind the driver's compartment. This rod is inserted into the uncoupling lever, which is then pulled outwards to effect an uncoupling.
Right back.
Ensure that the uncoupling lever returns to the normal in position. Return the uncoupling rod to its compartment and once again check that the coupler blocks have their covers in the fully raised position. If this is not the case, damage may result to the electrical connections.